Hey guys, I think this is recording. I really want to improve my YouTube game, so I thought I would just, put my face forward, just put my headphones on, switch the AC in the background, and just talk. It's one of those things where it feels liberating to, give some kind of information to the world, whatever I have. I uh, I haven't spoken about myself much. I am 30ish. I love coffee. I play games when I want to, apart from work. I have a PS4. I have a lot of audio stuff. There's a Bluetooth speaker in the background. There's also a headphone in the shelf above the books, somewhere here, there. I have one over here. There are a few earphones and headphones over there. There's a whole amp and soundbar with tweeters, which is a home theater system for my TV, which I can watch from my bed. So I'm a bit of a nerd in that sense, but I really want to take my time today to talk about my love for coffee. Recently, I'm not gonna go in depth because it was a different situation, but I was part of a survey. Now, this survey was about coffee, and by a very surprising chance that I bought a bottle of coffee from a shop nearby, I got a chance to meet some lovely people and talk about coffee in general, maybe talk a little about myself and stuff like that. We were on topic, but we were also deviating a lot because it was supposed to be in half an hour or something survey, right? But I believe I almost spoke for 2 hours, maybe more, because I really have gone above and beyond when it comes to coffee, for my love for coffee. Uh, as soon as I tell anybody, and this will be a shock for you guys as well, I have about 7 or 8 machines, coffee machines at home. I am no I am just a coffee enthusiast. I love coffee. I drink a cup or two a day. I don't have like 10 cups or something or 10 glasses of cold coffee or whatever. I just it's a cup or two max. But I do have a few machines or tools that prepare my coffee, or I use them to prepare my coffee, I would say. And it was really a really fun time to talk about it with somebody who knew about it. I like being from a city in UP, India. I don't have a lot of coffee enthusiasts around me, so to speak. I would say most of the people I know, their love for coffee would start from cold coffee and end at hot coffee. They are not as exposed as I am. I have been given the privilege, the honor, and I've also indulged in all this by means of internet, and I've used Pinterest a lot in the past. So that is where I also sort of started getting recipes or what kind of coffees are there, and which led me to you know go to a cafe and order those coffees as well, which is where I was like, can I do it at home? Should I get the stuff? Middle age, the 30ish guy just spending stuff, like just spending his money on coffee and coffee items so that he can prepare at home. So I'll categorize my coffee machines now. The first and the easiest one, which anybody at their own place has, is a stove top, right? You have a stove top, you boil your milk and water combined, and you add your coffee to a cup or a mug, and you add your sugar as per taste, and then you add the hot milk and water or just hot milk for that matter, to the cup. I additionally use a frother to mix up my coffee to make a little, bubbly, and there's a layer on top, so tastes like, feels a little rich. It's mixed thoroughly, the sugar is absorbed, things like that. So I would say the second would be, again, that is what most of the people have at home, would be a general, a simple mixie. But additionally, if like people have the juicer mount on top, there are like four jars which you get with a mixie nowadays. There's one with a for like spices. Then there are two metal jars, including the spice one, the third one, and the fourth is a like a plastic body for like juices and all that, and shakes also. So what we have as cold coffee, which is like usually blended, should not be called coffee, like cold coffee per se. Like this is what I believe. It should always be called like a coffee milkshake, is what I would say, because it's basically you just add stuff to the jar and it's like just blend it, just add ice and stuff like that and just blend it. That is not the original cold coffee in the original sense of it. That is more. That's what I feel. Is more of coffee milkshake, right? The third tool would be the frother that I was talking about. I have one of those hand frothers. It's from, I believe it's from Agaro or something. Uh, Dalgona really picked up during COVID, right? People were using a hand whisk, or if they have a frother. So I got a frother earlier, it went bad. Then I bought another one which I'm currently using, and it's been, working well ever since. So I froth the coffee beforehand instead of adding just milk and water to the coffee, and then I it creates a different aroma and a crema in the mug, and then you add stuff to it. It can be the easiest one that I've used it for is also for a cold coffee. This is more in the line of cold coffee, but not exactly. Where you mix the coffee and the sugar and a little bit of water, and you froth it up, and then you add whatever coffee and milk to it, and then you add ice, which is more of the cold coffee that you get, right? Not the blended kind, which is a coffee milkshake. That is why I call it a coffee milkshake. Banana milkshake, strawberry milkshake. You blend it, it's a milkshake, right? So this will create more of a coffee in the sense of talking about it. These would be your everyday tools, right? Now I want to, delve into more of the extensive tools that I have, which usually people don't. We'll start with the simple ones. I have a kapi maker, which is a South Indian filter coffee. So one of those brass containers which you add coffee to the top layer. There is an empty bottom area which collects the percolation of the coffee, and then you add hot milk to the percolation in cups or whatever you want to use. So there's a coffee percolator, and there are cups and katoris or dabras, whatever you call it. I exactly don't know the words right now, but yeah, that is one. Usually you get it in restaurants or places. You go to a South Indian place for dosas or stuff like that, and if you order a coffee, you will get it in the sense of the original South Indian style. Because usually people don't buy it for their personal use. Like I haven't seen many people buy it. Maybe a South Indian family might have it, because if they love coffee and they love it in their sense of having coffee, they might have it at home. Then I would say the next one would be a mocha pot. So this is something that I learned from YouTube, from Pinterest, from a dozen places. Mocha pot is essentially, it is not espresso, but it is close to an espresso as we call it. mocha pot has a bottom container which is filled with water to a certain point. Then there is a basket which contains the coffee, and then there is a top area where the coffee is collected when you heat it. So you have to put it on the gas stove, or there are electric mocha pots these days as well. But I have the gas kind, right? I put it on the gas stove, and then because of the heat, the water rises through the coffee and enters the top container where the coffee is collected, and then you can pour it out into a cup, add your cream or sugar or whatever you want to, and have your coffee. So mocha pot was a very very critical and difficult and kind of a learning journey for me. It's been a crazy one. It's fairly easy, I would say, but it does take its time. So you really have to have a you know you don't have to have an expertise on it, but you just have to know how to do it, because because you're using the gas, it can be a little dangerous. It can be hot if you like hold it from the bottom area while like after you take it out of the like off the flame. If you by any chance touch the bottom area, obviously it'll be hot, so you can burn yourself. It has to be there has to be a certain way of preparing it. So that was one. Then the next one would be an aeropress. So aeropress was something that at one point of time my friends were like, they were so it was my birthday, I think in the year 2023 or 24 maybe, and they wanted to give me a gift, right? And my friend was like, I was thinking of giving you a French press with a set of coffees to go with it. I was like, let me think about it, let me research a bit, and if I will be able to use it, how will I be using it, stuff like that. So I spoke to him, then I researched about it, and then I found that when I was searching for French presses, all kinds of French presses, and so I came across Aeropress, but I didn't buy the brand Aeropress machine. I got it off of Agaro again, because it's uh, close to a fifth of the price as Aeropress. I'm from India. It's the difference in price is it's crazy, and I would say, because I've not used the original machine, I would say I'm getting the same results I would have gotten if I had got purchased an Aeropress original Aeropress machine. And I've used it a lot. I had the Aeropress before I purchased the Mocha Pot. So I've really used it the last 2 years, 2.5 years maybe. So yeah, it would be my 2023 birthday, after which I decided to purchase the Mocha Pot. Sorry, the Aeropress. They gave me, I would say, close to 500 free paper filters, which can also be used in the Mocha Pot, which is a different thing that I learned off of YouTube, where if you use a filter to the Mocha Pot, the the grounds will not rise into your cup, which will you can find it in the bottom of the cup if you if you use a Mocha Pot without the filter paper. After that, yeah, the biggest and the most expensive machine that I have would be a Lavazza pod coffee maker. So Lavazza has a machine which has a water tank in the back side of the machine, and it takes bigger size. It's bigger than the Nespresso pods. It holds up to, I think it is two uh, coffees. It is the capacity of a pod is two shots of coffee instead of one shot of coffee, which you get in an espresso pod. So which is why it is expensive as well. Even the pods are expensive. The machine itself is close to 60 to 65,000, and the pods I get for I am assuming they're for 20 to 2300 for a set of 25, so it's close to 80, 85, 90 rupees a pot. It is expensive, but it is a really it is much less of an effort to make a coffee when is with pods than it is with the other machines that I have. Because you have to take your time, you have to prep everything, and you have to really, with the case of mocha pot, you have to stand close to the stove, monitor the flame. When it comes to the South Indian coffee, you have to see if the percolator is flowing well, if the container is not filling badly, how what kind of grounds you're using. And grounds will always be, universal when it comes to mocha pot, South Indian coffee, aeropress. You have to There are different sizes of grounds which you have to use for your machine. There is a variety. There is a huge variety when it comes to coffee. I don't have a proper one of those cafe machines, because obviously it's an expensive. It takes a lot of space. There are smaller ones as well, but again, it's an extensive process to maintain and operate those kind of machines, and you can really mess with the process. You can spill everywhere. Your shots may turn bad. There are a lot more things when it comes to it. I will obviously eventually buy one, but I don't have one right now. And during the survey, I also mentioned that I have close to 16 or 18 kinds of coffee at home, which is also a shocker when it comes to people. Are like, why do you have so much coffee? Why do you have this kind of a variety? I'm like, it's fun for me, right? It's always been. I take my time when I prepare my coffee. I take my time when I am using the machines, and I'm, you know, in the kitchen. I have left my work aside. I have finished my work. I've taken time out of it. I've taken a breather to get into the process of preparing a cup of delicious coffee for myself, and I enjoy that time. It's not like I'm watching a YouTube video or something while I'm doing something. It's I really take time to do that specific thing. I can do multiple things at multiple times, but when it comes to preparing my coffee with these machines, I would stick to one thing at a time, because I really enjoy how the coffee is prepared and how it comes out, right? uh, it's been really fun till now. It's been really it's been a good journey of learning. It's been a tasteful journey. I have coffee like I so I have coffee for all the machines that I have. South Indian coffee is different than what I use for my Aeropress, my Mocha Pot, the rest of the machines. Then I have a lot of instant coffee. I may have like five or six, maybe more. I may have seven or eight kinds of instant coffee, which would be something that my dad prefers. I prefer. I use it for cold coffee. I use it for hot coffee. I use it for. A friend of mine told me a very funny. It's not funny. It's interesting. So he told me a very unusual way of preparing an iced americano, which is you take a bit of coffee, instant coffee, because he does not have the kinds of machines that I do. He is more inclined to an instant way of preparing himself an iced americano. So what he'll do is he'll take a katori or a glass or whatever, a small container. He'll put some instant coffee in it. He'll add a little bit of water, and it really froth it through. He'll mix up the coffee and make sort of a he calls it a shot. I would not say it is a particular shot, but it kind of looks like a shot in a more prepared fashion. And then in the glass that he wants to have, he'll add water, he'll add ice, and then he'll add the shot to the glass, and then he'll mix it up, and that's his instant coffee. And I've tried three or four times, and it's interesting. It's simple, it's to the point, and in a way, that is a classic version of coffee, because coffee, instant coffee itself is already pre-processed coffee from the grains and then dried to make granulated coffee, or frozen to make freeze dried, frozen like freeze dried coffee, right? So that was very interesting for me to learn and try. So I have a particular coffee for that. So it's been a really fun time for me to explore coffee, spend hours on it, think about it, prepare it. It can be a whole thing around it. If people have a lot of passions for other things, but right now I'm in the middle of a lot more things in my like job and career and stuff like that. But when it comes to passion right now, I would say my passion is pretty inclined towards coffee. So which is why I just wanted to take my time, make a video, just talk my heart out about coffee. It's just a preview on what I use on a day-to-day basis. It's extensive, I understand, but I do use these machines to prepare coffee on a day-to-day basis. I just wanted you guys to know. So hope you had a fun time. I will make a video on a follow up to explain how these coffees are made, and hopefully I will not be sitting in a position like this. I'll have those machines in front of me so I can show them to you. And even if it is possible, I will also want to make a video on each of the machines and how they are used, or how they prepare the coffee that they do. So thank you so much and have a great day.